All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Lab. Sitting with you, as always, is Brendan, Alex, and Lewis. We hope you guys enjoyed last week's conversation. I feel like over the last 2 or 3 episodes, we sprinkled in a little bit of our college football talk, so maybe we'll continue that again today. But before we get started into our topic, let's do a little Squatober update here for, I know, Trotter, you got a little exposure into the program on, is it Fridays?
Friday.
Kill Jason, Friday the 13th. So Brandon, I'll kind of let you start off and how everything's been progressing over the last 2 weeks.
Well, squats finally come back. I think I did. Today was the first day. We didn't do going 5x5 stuff, so I ended up going beltless all the way through, and it didn't feel like complete dog shit. So we're getting there.
This is the start of week
3.
Oh God, yeah. Last week felt rougher than week 1 at least. That's for sure. My quads. I've actually had to dry needle my quads in the middle of last week because just going into any depth with any, like even 135 was like, no, cut it off. Like I'm done.
You just need more weight to push you down.
Yeah. Well, let's just accelerate that eccentric a little bit more.
Yeah. Let gravity work for you.
Bounce out. Ugh. No, it was not fun. I definitely, they have a lot of that, you know, the little tidbits on like the post that they put about like make sure you're getting 8 to 9 hours. I can tell you right now that riding the 6 to 7 hours of sleep every night right now with everything we're doing, been having to back off some percentages, but was able to do the Kill Jason one as well, and that just sucked. But we live to fight another day. But yeah. Today doesn't look too hateful for day 1 of week 3, but it'll be interesting to see how this week kind of progresses, because then next week being the final week, we'll have the PR party on Friday.
I don't know how it's going to be. If they're going to roll into like, sometimes they might go into the 31st, have it on Tuesday on Halloween. So it just kind of depends.
I was going to say, because the last day of October is actually a Tuesday, so they won't end on a weekend. Okay. Huh. I'll be interested to kind of see how that pans out then. That'll be kind of fun. But no, I think some big takeaways.
They got a calendar out of it.
Do they?
Yeah,
they did.
It's like one of the, yeah.
That was like from before it even started. I'll have to look at that then.
Yeah.
I know my big thing is like they don't really put up much of like a warm up, but I mean they sometimes put like cracker knuckles, put on a polo and get out and squat. And I was like, yeah, this is great. I absolutely love this. No, absolutely not. I hated that. I was like, give a little bit more insight. It's been pissing me off every time. Like today, or maybe it's tomorrow. I'd have to look.
You warm up with the bar as you get up to your working set.
Yes, I know, but like there's some days when I need just that little bit more extra help. We can't all be a Brandon and just go under the bar and have the blessings of the squat gods and
load that shit up. Let's go. Time is money.
Yeah, so like today's warm up, look in the mirror and repeat. Some simple 5x5 strength training will make me strong.
Now I will say, when I hopped in on Friday, we had a pretty tough time with the rest periods. Mm-hmm. Because they were so long. Like we're not used to like 2 or 3 minute rest periods in between each one. I think it was like right around like maybe a minute to a minute and a half where we were just like, all right, like I'm good. Are you good? And then we would just
just get up and go.
Yeah.
I don't know. That sucked.
But that threw like a couple things off for us. But I just used like Brandon's percentages because I have no idea where my raw number is. So, and it's been many years since I've taken a raw free squat. So,
really?
Yeah, everything is still stupid.
Oh my God.
A few of them.
I was gonna say it didn't look bad. I mean, for having 500 on your back and just shut up. Yeah, just shut up.
That was also my number. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like tomorrow, the warm up deck, they actually give you like body weight Bulgarian split squats and then kettlebell goblet squats. So like my warm up from tonight, I'm probably just looking at the percentages. They aren't hateful, but just something to open up my hips a little bit more, like a goblet pause squat, probably. Just my hamstrings more than anything. My hamstrings and my outer hips, my hips and my hamstrings have been hating me. But just a lot of glute, a lot of quad. Not hateful. We'll see what happens though. I got this after recording here though. It's going to be even more fun.
There you
go. But no. So for today, what we're going to kind of get into a little bit of is just training shoes. We're going to talk about shoes, maybe when to use them, maybe when to maybe not use them. So like in particular, Brandon has a little soapbox he wants to get on. This is actually Brandon's topic for today. We've had a few kids apparently coming in Brooks and, you know, those cushioned Hokas and Sauconys, and they're trying to do agility drills and or the dry knit shoes, the dry fit, whatever they are. And they're just slipping and sliding around. I can see you're ready to go on this, Brandon. So I'll let you kind of take over and give me an example of why training shoes are so important and how the function needs to fit the design.
Well, it can literally be the difference between injury and not injury. So the first part it is if you have a like a sock based style material shoe, or even a shoe that's got like a 2-inch insole, like first of all, your feet aren't doing its job. The cushion's doing all the work. So all your ligaments and tendons and then your feet aren't doing anything. They're just basically turning off. So that's why you got weak ass feet and you need those shoes in the first place.
Turning off,
say
Brandon.
You go, yeah, and you go to plant on a 2-inch. You go to plant on a 2-inch foam, and then or a shoe that's made out of a sock material, and you try to change direction, your foot's gonna blow out through that shoe. You're gonna roll an ankle, or you're gonna slide, potentially pull a groin muscle. God knows happens, you know, maybe tear something. But I mean, it's just not a very good foundation to where if you just get a solid, flat training shoe with just an actual shoe style material, even a lot of these, like a lot of our kids are coming with turf shoes. They got a little bit of beads in them for grip, but then they're also perfectly fine. You can use in the weight room. It's like almost like an all-purpose shoe. So it's not like one extreme or the other, and they're kind of a flat base, and then you can kind of go on based on like the sole. So like I personally don't like a lot of cushion in my shoe. I like mine kind of be like a more of a minimal, just because that's just what I like. So and then they kind of teeter based off of that. Some of them have like naturally made arches or wide toe boxes, and I mean you can pretty much customize them any way you want nowadays.
That is true. That's very true. I know you would particularly see like when kids are just coming in just to particular like just weightlifting. Was there any like particular brand of shoe that you guys are recommending to them to get, or like looking into, or like are you just recommending like maybe even taking shoes off and just do it barefoot? I've seen both.
Yeah. Usually if their shoes are like way too cushiony, then especially like in the squat, they'll sit down and it'll just freaking kick them to where like their heel is here, and it'll just rise up, and then they're just all on their toes.
Yeah.
So we just tell them just kick their shoes off, and then usually that's just an easy way just to like teach them to drive through their heel, you know, to keep the weight in their posterior chain, because that's what we're trying to develop at that movement. So it's much easier like that. But sometimes, like, I mean, I guess I could make a video on it or something along those lines. But squatting in a cushioned shoe versus, you know, like a hard flat shoe like a Converse or a Vans, or, you know, barefoot shoe, or even just your own barefoot. But just like the difference that it makes.
Yeah. So like for example, you wouldn't want to go squatting in like a Brooks like running shoe, or like the Hoka's Saucony. Like they're not designed, like if you think about it, the word running is in the name. So like why would you want to put a running shoe on when you're doing heavy lifting?
Well, like you've already described. It's like, especially in like the Hoka's, it's like squatting with a Bosu ball.
Yeah.
I mean, to an extent, a very small condensed one, but
Yeah, it's like squatting on a big foam pad. It's like, why would you do that? I think the other thing to look into, like when you're looking at particular shoes, like having the flat bottom is like that minimal cushioning is a good thing. But then some kids or, varying levels of athlete might have a little bit more of like an ankle restriction. So like obviously you can elevate the heels a little bit. What are you doing, Brandon?
Got to go dad mode real quick.
Yeah.
Go dad mode. Go dad mode. But no, I think like having the elevated heels sometimes like you'll see like the Olympic weightlifters, right? So like those come in with that hard heel. They've got the elevated heel up to maybe 3/4 of an inch. I've seen a full inch before as well, but sometimes when people have the stiff ankles and they need that little bit of extra help just to get into full depth, and it allows them to keep more of an upright torso. There's another thing maybe to look into as well. So like I have a gentleman in particular. Actually, I've got a few right now. I've got like 2 or 3. But oh yeah, he's on his first podcast episode. What's up, little man? Oh,
dressed up for the holidays.
He's
Just so
already
everybody
better
is
than
aware.
you at this.
Yeah. Just so everybody is aware, Peyton does get his giant chubby cheeks from Brandon. He just doesn't have the beard to cover it up.
We got my beard and his hair are the same tint. Sometimes I just put it on like this. So see what it's gonna look like with a full head of hair. Oh, dude.
Hi, buddy boy.
Huh.
No, we were just talking about Olympic weightlifters and how having that elevated heel can sometimes allow a stiff ankle to get a little bit better of an upright torso and getting into depth of the squat. Oh, buddy boy. But then also we were going to kind of talk about like sometimes so like I'll go into more of like the CrossFit aspect of the shoes. So like how many different people have a CrossFit shoe now, right? So like Reebok has one with the Nanos. You've got the Metcons from Nike. And then you've also got the Under Armour Tri-Base Reigns. And like if you look at each shoe, the heel to toe drop, it can differ between particular shoes. But then also the style and variation of the shoe as well can, like as you go through generations. So like the Nano 6 compared to the Nano 8 was like drastically different in certain regards with like the hard heel cup and then also the drop from heel to toe. So like there's a few different things that you could look into. They're not like a drastic drop, but like some of those, not like the CrossFit shoes, I think are sometimes wonderful cross training shoes because they give you that little bit of an impact, not like a tremendous amount, and you can still run to a degree. But then having that for squatting as well, you have that little bit of a heel lift, but it's not like an excessive amount. But you can also get like have you guys ever seen the Versa lifts? Those it's like a wedge that you can put into your shoe. I've had patients use those before, but I would much rather if you have like heavy loading you need to do for that day, putting something into the shoe, maybe for that day or for that week, maybe even the month, until you continue to progress that ankle mobility. Then after that, you can maybe eventually work away from that wedge, but don't become like overly reliant on it. Trying to think, is there anything else in terms of the shoes that maybe we could touch on? Like obviously the point of like a toe box, right? So like there's this really big push right now with like Squat University, and
that's what your feet's supposed to look like.
Yeah, look at that.
Wide
See,
base.
He's got a nice wide toe box. Look at them toes.
Yeah, gaps in between all toes, not squished together.
Yeah,
no hammer toe.
No hammer toe.
But like AJ said, he's like, I'll never trust anybody that claims that they were an athlete and they don't have hammer toes.
Oh man, that's too funny. Man, he does have some cheeks on him.
He's getting there. He's putting some weight on.
Yeah. Bulking
How's that tummy time?
Good. Dude's rolling over.
Oh, head of the game, man. All right.
Did I read it right that he's talking or trying to make a noise?
Yeah, he's a big woo guy.
Yeah.
Sorry, is that woo or woo?
Woo.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah,
I guess the L's are a little early.
He just woke up, so he's kind of still.
Yeah.
He likes to watch the dogs run around. Yeah.
No. That's too funny. But kind of going back to the topic here with the toe box, as Peyton was just wonderfully demonstrating for us, right? There's been a huge push for wider toe boxes and like training shoes and like Olympic weightlifters. I think it's Tier actually has now a CrossFit shoe, but then they have an Olympic weightlifting shoe now that actually has like supposedly a wide toe box. I tried them on. I wasn't necessarily overly impressed, but the one thing that I would say that I did like about them was honestly just the heel height. That honestly made it feel pretty nice. But my one qualm with the wider toe box issue is that with an Olympic weightlifter, you want them to be explosive, correct? So if I'm all of a sudden taking that point of contact on the ground and I'm making it really wide, am I not reducing their ability to exert force through that one point on the ground? So it's like I'm thinking about it and I'm like, is it really that much of a detriment to make the toe box that much wider? But like, I'm not going to take, like, for example, if we want to all of a sudden apply this wide toe box aspect to every single tennis shoe, I can't have a track runner go from a track spike and where it is kind of coming down to a point, and then they're going to try to widen that out, because then my force and my drive through that point of the toe is going to be reduced. So it's like I can kind of see like a good push for the wider toe box in most tennis shoes, but like to say it applies to all, I just don't think that's right. I really don't. And I think
you have to think of the way that the general public is going to think, right? So
yeah.
they see like these shoes with like the wider toe box for the lifting shoe, or even like track spikes, and they assume that you're going to be training in them all of the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So like
Yeah.
it's just like you want to treat like your shoes or whatever as if like they're like game day like worn, or like when you throw a belt on, like when you're lifting, like it's stuff like that. It's not like you get it and that's all you're allowed to wear.
Yeah.
But
I've just seen there was like trying to think.
yeah, but I mean, it allows you to have a wider base, especially in like lifting. So, like the wider base that you have, then in theory, you can have like a taller building or a taller, mountain. So I see where
Better
that
base of
comes from
support.
as far as like doing that.
Yeah, and I can see where there would be benefit to it, but like, is there a deteriorating benefit or like a diminishing return for how much you make the toe box wider? Like, are you really going to get that much out of it compared to like traditional Olympic weightlifting shoes, or no?
I think it comes down to whatever you're used to. Like if you naturally got a wide foot and then you try to go into a tighter toe box, it's going to kind of throw it off. And if you're used to kind of the tighter toe box and all of a sudden you got more of a wider base shoe, it's going to kind of, you might lose power output somewhere along the line. But I think it's just kind of based on how you have worn shoes or not worn. If you don't wear shoes that often, you kind of go to a wide toe box and feel kind of natural. But if you're used to kind of a tight, dense toe box, and I don't think it's going to really make a difference. But if you switch from one to the other, it's going to have a little bit of a variability there.
Makes sense. That makes sense.
When I was heavier, like when I was over 300, I couldn't wear my Vans anymore to squat in. I had to switch to like a wide toe box. And I got a pair of them like Vivos or Vivio barefoot things.
Yeah.
Because my circulation was being cut off in my feet. So by the time that like we would get up to our 8,000-9,000 pound squats, like I couldn't feel my feet any longer. So it was just like at that point I was like, all right, well, this is not ideal. So then I looked in, like my one buddy who I trained with, he had a pair. So then I just asked him the difference of them and then tried them. So
Jesus, I didn't realize you were losing feeling in your feet.
Yeah. Well, because I mean, you're like I'm carrying that weight all day long, so like my feet are going to get a little bit wider because I'm pressing down on them harder, with every step that I take. So they just naturally became wider. So,
jeez, Pete.
I mean, it was not healthy by any means. So, if you're fat, go get you some wide toe box.
Then you can get even fatter.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Sweet Jesus.
Yeah. But the next step after that is Crocs. So
I honestly have never owned a pair of Crocs.
Oh, no.
Croc sandals, baby.
Yeah.
Fox sandals.
I got a pair of Croc sandals.
They're a sight to see.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Him and Morgan got matching ones.
Yeah, she was jealous. $10 at Kohl's, man. Can't pass it up. I ain't spending $40 for a pair of flip flops, and I got them things right there for $10.
Yeah.
I don't care what they look like.
Do the same thing.
Do you have Crocs, Trotter?
No.
Okay.
I got Hey Dudes.
Okay. Hey Dudes.
Oh, that's another kick. About 2-3 years ago, when Hey Dudes got big, all them kids wanted to come in and do speed training with their Hey Dudes on.
Horrible.
They're trying to do speed training with Hey Dudes on?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I told them if you can't tie your shoes tight right now, then you can't do speed training. And then about probably 6 out of the 15, 16 kids are in my class.
Straight to the weight. Yep. Yeah. Oh, dude, they've tried to do them in slides. They've tried to do them in flip or Crocs, like putting it in turbo mode.
4x4. Come on.
Yeah,
man.
4x4, whatever. And then they've tried to do them in Hey Dudes. They tried to do it in man, I don't know. I can't think of any other shoe.
I've seen what's that? Jesus sandal, the Burt.
Yes,
Birkenstock or whatever.
Birkenstock, yeah.
Yeah.
The Jesus sandal.
Yeah,
so that's what I call it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You can't put that thing in 4x4. It's 2-strapper only.
You're stuck.
That's gonna be stuck in my brain now. The Jesus sandal.
That's what it's called.
No, Mama, I didn't do my agility ladders with Brendan today. I had my Jesus sandals on.
Dang straight. Yeah, if you had your Jesus sandals, you could probably handle a agility ladder, but not real speed training.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But another thing, talk about. Yeah, he's chilling. He's about ready to go play. But
time for some more tummy time.
Yeah, the biggest thing I see is probably most throughout all athletes is whenever like your cross country runners or your distance style track athletes will go from a heavy brook or a Hoka or whatever the heck is that Hoka? What is it?
Yeah.
Hokas.
Yeah.
Hokas.
Yeah.
Hokas.
And then they'll go to their track spikes, which is very minimal. And then they're trying to figure out why their shins hurt and why their feet hurt and why their ankles hurt and why they're getting shin splints. And it's like, well, because you go from a 2-inch fully loaded shoe where your feet don't do anything to a straight track spike where there's nothing. And then you're trying to do, 2 miles at max effort or whatever it may be. And you're trying to figure out why you have feet issues all of a sudden. Because
you go from a luxury plus like memory foam mattress to a jail cell.
I've never heard that, but I love that. Memory foam mattress. Oh my goodness, to a jail cell.
For your
wow,
feet.
that is both the darkest and best explanation I've heard of going from a Brooks to a track spike.
Yeah.
I like it.
Basically what it is. And then so when it comes around track time or even cross country, because some of them will actually have like cross country style track spikes. There's your answer.
Man. So if you are doing agility with Brandon, what would be the type of shoe, Brandon, you would want to see kids in?
Want to make
I like faster. I had a couple kids walk in today with new shoes on. Asked them if they felt faster. One kid said no. I told him better take them shoes back right now.
Get you some PF flyers, dude.
But yeah, anything with just a solid flat surface and that's got like an actual sturdy material, like your Nobles, like not the running style Nobles, but the original Nobles, like those. I got like the Under Armour tri bases on. Love those. Metcons, kind of anything along those lines, or just like a straight up turf shoe that can be kind of a multi-purpose.
Yeah.
If you walk in with a sock based material, you're not going to last very long.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just you're asking for issues. But I would say that is probably the one brand of shoe that is slept on right now is the Under Armour Tri-Base Reigns. I have loved those shoes for I've had the Tri-Base 1, 2, 3, 4, and now 5. And I have loved every pair I've had. 3s were a little suspect, but I still liked them.
Yeah, I got the latest ones. These ones, this first time I ever had them. I like them a lot. They're nice.
They're comfortable. They're really comfortable.
I even had a lot of the charged one, like the Under Armour charged.
Yeah.
I like those a lot too. I've had like probably 4 or 5 different pair of those. I mean, they've lasted me 2 or 3 years.
Oh dang! Those are
Yeah,
nice too. Then
I get one pair of shoes, and when they blow out is when I get the other pair of shoes.
oh, that's good. Well,
Some of these kids got a new shoe for every day of the week.
What?
And your Air Maxes aren't very good to go heavy in either.
No.
Oh gosh, someone tried to do a back squat max with Air Maxes on.
Oh yeah, like hey, if you were any stronger, you might pop that thing, but
yeah, yeah.
Oh sweet Jesus.
Yeah, they'd rather have a different pair of shoes for every day of the week than be able to afford a card to get to the gym in the first place.
Makes sense. No, but anything else you guys want to add on to the tennis shoes talk today?
I got my ran in.
Little note: make sure you have good training shoes, otherwise Brandon will get upset and Trotter will send you home.
Nah, belt squat.
Belt squat. Oh, that's even worse. Never mind. Have the right training shoes or Trotter will torture you with a belt squat. But anything else you guys want to add? All good. All right, Peyton. Training time.
Woo!
Mm-hmm. See how strong he is.
Nope. Send him back.
Yeah. Malfunctioning.
Almost.
You're your mom's kid right now.
Oh man.
Yeah. For all those listening, she's more athletic than Brandon, so
that's right.
Sweet Jesus.
You might have a chance there.
You got good parents, buddy. I'm sure you'll have some faith.
Statistically, more people get drafted in the NFL coming from a single parent household than any other household. So if you don't get it together, you know where I live. You need a place to stay.
Thanks.
See you on draft night.
It's all for a good cause, buddy.
Jesus. This is gonna get flagged so many times.
Nah. Just don't have Morgan listen to this one.
I think we're all right.
Yeah.
We're all gonna die. No. All right, Peyton, we believe in you. Get your tummy time in, buddy.
Yeah.
You got it. But all right. Well, we will let everybody go and we will see you guys in the next episode.